Good morning, everyone. It's 6:40 a.m. in the morning. I hope you all are staying warm and comfortable as the chilly weather outside settles in. While we cozy up for the day, I have got something exciting to share with you today. So today we're gonna deep dive into an emerging topic in the world of data centers, which is being called as your Cisco Nexus Dashboard Fabric Controller. This innovative tool is transforming the way we manage and automate the data center networks, offering the enhanced scalability, flexibility, and the operational efficiency. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's explore how NDFC can revolutionize your data center operations. So let's start by understanding this single platform, which is Nexus Dashboard Fabric Controller, how it can optimize your data center automation in a well-mannered way. So if I talk about certain terminologies and history that why it was being required, so Cisco Nexus Dashboard Fabric Controller is a comprehensive management and the automation solution for all your Cisco Nexus and your Cisco multi-layer distributed switching platforms, which are also known as your MDS switches, powered by Cisco NXOS. NDFC provides management, automation, control, monitoring, and the integration for the deployment spanning LAN network, SAN network, and your IP fabric for the media fabrics. NDFC facilitates the seamless interconnectivity and the automation. It provides you the management functionalities by providing the fabric oriented configuration and operations management. NDFC also provides the representational state transfer using the RESTful APIs to allow the easy integration from Cisco or even the third party overlay managers, enabling the automation to meet the customer needs. By saying automation, NDFC brings easy to understand and simple deployment approach of bootstrapping the new fabrics into the private cloud environment. Cisco best practices are built into the fabric builder policy templates and automatic bootstrap occurs with the click of a button. For the monitoring and the visualization, NDFC brings in active topology monitoring views at the fabric level, a multi-fabric level, into a new NDFC UI. When combined with Cisco Nexus dashboard insights, customers can complement their solution with advanced support for the day 2 operations. If I now simplify this understanding that why we require and what was the product that we were earlier using in the days. So if you remember, after 9.0 version, there was a product that was being launched, which is called as your Cisco DCNM, okay, which is also known as your data center network management tool. This tool was somehow being used to automate your Nexus-based fabric, but with a limited feature. Okay, there are certain more feature which are being enhanced into this, and later on, after 12.x version, there was a new product, a new revamp which was being done after Cisco DCNM, and that was being named as NDFC, which is also known as your Nexus Dashboard Fabric Controller. Okay. Your Cisco Nexus dashboard provides you a unified and a seamless experience for the common data center services to your network. Whether you are using your Cisco ACI or Cisco NXOS, your Nexus dashboard fabric controller is being running inside your standalone mode and you can do the integration with the various other technologies as well. Inside that, we also gonna study something about your NDFC orchestrator, which is nothing but which is being used for your DC management, data center management. Okay. Apart from that, we do have the fabric controller, which is being used to manage what? The LAN and the SAN fabric, which is being used to manage the LAN and the SAN fabric. Cisco NDFC is a management solution for all the NXOS based deployment spanning the LAN fabric, the SAN fabric, and the IP fabric for the media, which is also known as your IPFM in your data center and completely powered by Cisco. Cisco NDFC also supports other devices. What are the other devices that we can list over here? Like your iOS XE switches. It also do the support for iOS XE routers. Okay. It gives you support for certain non-Cisco deployments as well, or non-Cisco devices as well. So, being a multi-fabric controller, Cisco NDFC manages the multiple deployments like your VXLAN EVPN, a classic three-tier architecture, your fabric path, and the routed base fabric inside the LAN environment, which provides the ready-to-use control, the management, monitoring, and the automation capabilities for all of these environments. Also, NDFC is capable of managing when being enabled as a SAN controller, which automates the Cisco MDS controller as well as your Nexus family infrastructure whenever you do have a focus on storage specific devices or the storage specific features. For that, we do have the SAN controller which is being available. A Nexus dashboard fabric controller primarily focus on the control and management of three primary segments. And I'm going to list down them one by one. First of all is LAN, the local area network, which is a networking including where you're going to perform the VXLAN, where you're going to perform a technology called as multi-site deployments inside the VXLAN. Okay. You do have your classic Ethernet. You do provide your external fabrics which are supporting the Nexus switches that are running standalone on your NXOS operating system with additional support for your iOS XR and the XE series as well. Okay. Apart from that, at that adjacent, it's gonna manage up the host as well. It's gonna manage up the compute resources for those particular hosts. It's gonna manage up the virtual machines and the container management system. Second, as per if I talk about the storage area network, it's gonna provide your Cisco MDS switches and Cisco Nexus switches, which are running standalone on your NXOS, which gives the support for the integration of your storage arrays as well. And additional host, compute, and virtual machines, and your container orchestration systems. Then you do have the support for, or I'll say, for the primary segment, you do have your media control. Okay, for the multicast video production. These are the networks that are running your Cisco Nexus switches operated again on the NXOS with additional integration of the third party media control systems. Okay. There is a Cisco Nexus dashboard virtual environment can be created like with an OVF file which is being referred to as virtual ND. Okay, virtual Nexus dashboard deployment. While the deployment of the Nexus dashboard on the physical appliance being a service engine is known as your physical Nexus dashboard. So whenever you want to deploy your NDFC as a virtual, that is called as virtual Nexus dashboard. And whenever it is that you do have the physical device available for the Nexus dashboard fabric controller, you're gonna use physical Nexus dashboard deployment. Okay. Now, talking about more over into this. So earlier, what we used to have, we are having certain operations. Okay, we are having the day one and the day two operations inside our data centers. Okay, whenever we talk about the day one operations, this is precisely when you typically involve the task performing when a new system or a service or the infrastructure is initially set up. It focuses on the installation, configuration, and the deployment of the data center infrastructure, which includes provisioning of the new switches, like the new hardware, software, networking, and the storage system. It also gonna focus primarily on your network setup, your day one. Okay, it gonna maintain the power and the cooling management. You're gonna perform certain integrations over there with respect to Like you do have the hardware with respect to the existing systems. Okay. And you're gonna configure the interconnects for the network or the power or the storage. Apart from that, you also gonna provide the security, setting up the access control list, setting up the user roles, user preferences, authorization levels, firewall rules, and your intrusion detection systems. And then you do perform or you do maintain on the day one of your data center the aspect of monitoring. Initial monitoring configuration to track the performance, availability, and the resource utilization. Now, if on the same end, if I talk about the day two operations which we're gonna perform inside the data center, it consists of mainly it gonna consist of your ongoing management. Okay, it gonna perform the optimization and the maintenance of the data. After it is up and running. So on the day one, we're gonna make sure our network is set it is up, it is running. We have done the complete provisioning of the new switches. The new switches are being added up successfully inside the fabric. We have maintained up the power and the cooling management for all the compute resources, all the storage devices, and all the other networking devices which are there inside that data center. When it comes to the day two operations, we're gonna perform the ongoing management, the optimization, and the maintenance of that data center, which includes monitoring, which includes troubleshooting, which includes software and hardware updates, which includes backup, which includes recovery, the performance optimization, and security management, scaling, and whatnot. So now if I talk about these J2 operations over here with the concept of your Cisco NDFC, so inside your day 2, whenever you are performing certain operations, the amount of data that is transferred when the application resources are consumed has grown rapidly and will continue to grow further. The implementation of the new services leads to a demand for the higher bandwidth and the network infrastructure, which must be coping with the data growth. As a result, the network needs to be modernized. The network needs to be modernized, right? It should be scaled up and out and upgraded to accommodate these needs. So, if you talk about the cloud networking, that what are the different deployments you have inside your Cisco cloud networking? Okay, then we do have the integration with the AWS. We do have Azure over here. We do have the co-location devices, co-location data centers. We do have IoT edge devices. We do have the private cloud available. We do have the data centers, the on-premises data centers, as well as we do have the GCP, which is your Google Cloud Platform. To deploy the applications in such environments, and especially to scale them, the best strategy is to use what? Is to use the automation over here. So whenever it is that you're gonna deploy the applications, different set of applications, be it your data center or security or enterprise, you need an automation technique in order to do the successful deployment, and especially whenever you're gonna scale them. Automation will give you the predictable results as well as the accurate deployment. And once your application is being deployed, you will need visibility into it to monitor and how it is being running and to see if you need the resource adjustments or not. Another aspect that you need to consider when you deploy your applications inside your multiple locations is nothing but security. That is something which we need to maintain. So there are multiple technologies which exist to enforce and monitor the security policies so that your data is secure and your application is being compliant. Like you do have the telemetry sources, you do have fragmented insights, you do have disjoint operations infrastructure, you do have distributed data sources and the data stacks. Okay. So there are certain challenges which come into the picture whenever you have a bigger environment, whenever you do have a diverse environment inside the data center. You do have certain challenges that you need to face. You might have to face that. First of all, the one challenge which comes is there is no single pane of the glass. That means that you need to monitor the whole environment. Okay. No correlation. That means for the same events, you need to have multiple systems. Multiple systems will be there in order to generate the same event. So there is no correlation. There are high total cost of ownership because systems are not completely integrated. So you need the high total cost of the ownership. Okay. There are distributed data sources which we are having today. Apart from that, you need high mean time to recover because because of the complexity of the deployment. So these are certain challenges that we are facing inside your diverse environment. And now to address these challenges and to be able to successfully manage such environments, the Cisco Nexus dashboard is a platform that helps you to unify management and the monitoring with different applications that run on top of that. So your Cisco Nexus dashboard provides you as a data broker solution. Okay. A solution to build the packet broker network for the further analysis. It provides you with the feature of insights, your Cisco Nexus dashboard insights, which provides you the feature of it's a comprehensive solution for analysis, for your trending, for your anomaly detection, which is again something which we're going to require inside the world of security. Your anomaly detection, alerting, and much more is there. It also gives you the feature for, so I'll write it down in order to understand. So these are your Cisco NDFC features that it's gonna provide for the challenges that we have seen above. Insights, data broker, we do have your fabric controller, which is nothing but a solution to deploy your NXOS based VXLAN fabrics in particular. Okay. It is for the both, it's brownfield and the greenfield deployment. Then we do have your fabric discovery as well, where we're gonna propose the solution to monitor all your NXOS based fabrics. Okay. We do have the SAN controller, which are available. A solution to deploy and monitor the SAN fabric. We're gonna do provides the orchestrator, which is a solution to set up and operate multiple site fabrics, multi-site fabrics. So your fabric controller, fabric discovery, and the SAN controller are the three different personas or the personalities that you can choose from whenever you are configuring the Cisco Nexus dashboard fabric controller application. Okay. So whenever you talk about your solution lifecycle, like we started with your day one operations and your day two operations, understand. First of all, it always starts from day zero, where we talk about the architecture and the design of the data center. Day one then includes your activities such as your installation, setup, and the configuration. And then you have furthermore the day two operations, which includes day to day management, monitoring, and optimizing the solution. In our case, your Cisco Nexus dashboard is a platform that lets you deploy the tools that focus on your day two phase. So we're gonna dedicate our day two for the NDFC. One example of such tools is your Nexus dashboard insights over here, which gonna be used for maintaining and troubleshooting as well as for the anomaly detection for certain kind of monitoring as well. Okay. If I talk about the licensing model which are being available inside your NDFC, so there are three license tiers that allows you to run the several features. So let's talk about licensing. model with respect to your NDFC. The three licensing tiers, which allows you to run the several features inside your NXOS and your ACI fabric to simplify the licensing process and the choice. Okay. Inside these tiers, they define the features that you can use. So features are not being determined by the fabric architecture. Your Nexus dashboard application. You do have the Nexus dashboard applications which are available, like your Cisco NDI, Nexus Dashboard Insights. Or you do have your Cisco Nexus Dashboard Data Broker. Okay, these are being treated as features and these are included in the premier tier. These are included inside the premier tier or must be licensed separately with a add-on. So you do need certain add-on licenses for Cisco Nexus Dashboard Insights and Nexus Dashboard Data Broker. The very well preferred method for the licensing is to do by subscription. A subscription spreads the cost of the licensing over time, which includes your support, as you do have the single source of the licensing and support. If you choose a perpetual license, if you're going to choose a perpetual license over here, you must pay for the license upfront, and support requires an additional contract that you must renew periodically. Okay. So if you already are having, let's say that you already are having a data center from a year or so, and within that data center, if you have an existing fabric or fabric that are already being licensed, either with your Cisco DCN Essential or your Cisco DCN Advantage, you can use your day to operation tools such as your Nexus Dashboard Insight by adding the DCN day to ops, day to operations license on top of that. Okay. Let's talk about that how you're gonna license your Cisco Nexus Dashboard. So first of all, you need to choose a license on each of the switch. Either if you are doing a newer deployment, okay, if you are onto a day one operation, if you are doing the new deployments, then you're gonna choose your Cisco DCN Premier license. Okay, or Cisco D2 operations add-on license for existing deployment with the essentials or the advantage. So for that, you need Cisco Essentials license or the Advantage license if you are already using a earlier fabric. Okay, in a brownfield deployment, I'll say that. Choose the platforms for your Nexus dashboard cluster. So now you have to decide that in order to deploy your NDFC, do you need a physical device inside your environment, or you gonna use your virtual device which you will receive in the form of an OVA, and that you're going to deploy inside your ESXi host, which is being provided by the VMware vSphere. So to use your Cisco Nexus dashboard and its various applications, you need to deploy the solution. The solution can be deployed in three different ways. It can be deployed on a physical server, it can be deployed using a virtual machines, and other option is that it can be also deployed on a cloud service, a public cloud. So when you are choosing your licensing level for your Cisco Nexus switches, you have two options over there. Okay. The two options are your Cisco DC and Premier license. So the very first option, I'll say that. You do have the Premier license, which provides your Nexus dashboard and your Nexus dashboard insights, formally, which is also being known as your network insights resources or the advisor or your assurance engine. So this option actually is the best for the newer deployment. Whenever you want to choose your Cisco DCN Premier licenses, I'll suggest that this option is very good whenever you do have the newer deployments or when you acquire the Premier license immediately. But if you do have an existing DC and Essentials or the Advantage subscription, you can transition to the Premier and receive your Nexus Dashboard Insights capabilities as well. So primarily we are talking over here with respect to the Nexus Dashboard Insights now. When it comes to your DCN, day 2 operations, then over there it is being recommended for the customers who already have a DCN advantage or an essential license. This bundle provides your Nexus dashboard insights. It provides you day 2 operations, which can be used across your Nexus 9000 series. You can use it across Nexus 3K series and Nexus 7K platforms. It can be utilized across your 9K, 7K, as well as your 3K series. Okay. Then the next step is to choose the platform that where you gonna run the Cisco Nexus dashboard. Where you gonna run it? Talking about that, the very first thing, the question is where you gonna deploy your NDFC. The very first option that you can take a physical compute platform, a physical deployment, okay, that comes with 3 compute nodes and it is being designed to run your Nexus dashboard insights as well. Both your Cisco Nexus dashboard insights and your Nexus dashboard orchestrator. That means, if I write it in simpler words, your NDI and your NDO are being pre installed on the physical Nexus dashboard before it is being shipped onto your door. Okay. Before it is being shipped onto your door, that particular physical compute platform gonna contain both your NDI and the NDO as well as your NDFC within that. Okay. The physical compute solution was previously known as your Cisco Application Service Engine, or ASE. So you require or you acquire the initial cluster with your whenever you order. As your needs increases, you have the flexibility to add additional nodes as well. In order to form up a cluster, you can check your Nexus dashboard inside scale tool to determine that how many nodes you can need or you might need in order for the deployment. Then the second deployment, what you're gonna have is your Cisco virtual Nexus dashboard platform. Okay. And your Cisco Nexus dashboard is available as a virtual appliance as well, which you talk about ND virtual. This product ID provides you the entire cluster. Understand? There is no need to purchase multiple licenses in order to form a single cluster. Okay. You don't need to perform any licenses. You don't need to purchase any licenses. So no licenses are being required over here. And the third one, which is your cloud-based Nexus dashboard platforms. Over here, a license is being required, and that license can be purchased through the Cisco commercials, okay, or the WooCommerce they are providing that license store which they are having, and it's being applied inside your AWS marketplace. Okay, it is being used for AWS as well. You can utilize your Azure marketplace as well, which is being provided by Microsoft. Okay, licenses can be purchased via your CCW or Cisco ID and being applied in the respective public cloud marketplace. Like you do have both your Azure as well as AWS, whatever you want to use in order to perform the public cloud deployment for the Cisco Nexus dashboard platform. Simple. So, in a nutshell, to use the applications that are being hosted on your Nexus dashboard, you will need to hold the appropriate licenses for your switches in the fabric. Dashboard itself does not carry any kind of license. Understand? The licenses you require is for the fabric, for the switches that you're gonna integrate inside your dashboard controller. Just like inside your ACI does not require any licensing model within your APIC, but the licenses majoritively are being required inside your switches that you are having or that you're gonna discover and provision inside your ACI APIC, which is nothing but the GUI for the complete ACI fabric. For the data center solutions, there are three license tiers which are called as Essential, Advantage, and Peer, and two additional features license for the day two operations. Okay, your day two operations as well as your Nexus dashboard data broker. So it is possible to buy or purchase each of these licenses in two different ways. The first way is only for that data center network in your Essential and the Advantage license can be bought like this. If you choose a perpetual license, you have to pay for the license upfront and add an additional support contract that you renew as the time passes. So you need to renew over the time period that whatever the licenses that you are using. If you are using a perpetual license, you have to pay for it upfront, and then for the additional services or the support contract or the renewal, you need to pay again. And the second and the recommended way is subscription based. Like all the licenses tiers and the features can be purchased this way. So this method spread the cost of your licenses over time, and it includes support with the goal to have a single process for both licensing and the support. And that's when you talk about your essential license and your Cisco DCN data center networking advantage tiers, which covers your advanced features for both your Cisco ACI as well as your Cisco NXOS. Your DCN Advantage license for the ACI gives you the support for multi-site deployment with your Cisco Nexus dashboard orchestrator and physical remote leaf devices. While your DCN Advantage for the NXOS gives you the support for NXOS based VPN fabric and inter autonomous system number. Option B, like your MPLS layer 3 VPN, you do have pervasive load balancing. It supports your VXLAN EVPN multi-site. It supports your tenant routing multicast and layer 3 EVPN over segment routing as well. Okay. So now, if you are having an existing fabric that already has your Cisco DCN Essentials or DCN Advantage, you can use the day 2 operations like your NDI by adding the DCN day 2 ops license on top of that. And that is what we have for today's lecture. In the next series of your NDFC, we're going to talk about specifically the Nexus dashboard insights. Okay, we're going to talk about that how your Nexus dashboard data broker application use cases are being working around. We're going to talk about Cisco Nexus dashboard cluster node roles, and then furthermore, we're going to talk about the connectivity that is being provided inside your Nexus dashboard cluster. So I hope that you got certain insights today in the first day of your NDFC regarding the NDI, regarding the day two operations, day one operations, and regarding the different licensing model that you are having, as well as the deployment of the Fabric controller into a virtual environment inside the cloud environment, as well as the physical compute platform on premises inside your DC. With that, we're gonna end our session today. Kindly do like our videos, subscribe us for more insights on the NDFC and the various technologies. See ya. Thank you.